Gemar Chasima Tov B'Torah. Hope everything all your tefillah should be answered, and you should all be zeicha to a good Geven Shir with simchis and gesund and parnasa, and I wish you all from the bottom of my heart every positive thing that I can. Okay, we're in the middle of a sugya. The sugya of where do you know that mitzvah shazman grama, that is pata. You know, we all know women are pata mitzvah shazman grama. You might ask shofar before they all come to shul. It's a minig. It's not they're pata. They don't have to. They sit in the sukkah. They don't have to. The mitzvah shazman grama. Then women are pata. We learned it out from tefillin. We said just like tefillin, women are pata from, because we made a hekesh between tefillin and Talmud Torah, and we know women are pata from Talmud Torah. So memele they pata what from tefillin. The Gemara is the kasha. The Gemara says, you tell me that every single mitzvah zeshes grama women are pata. I'll give you three that they're chayev. There's the mitzvah of matzah, right? There's the mitzvah of simcha on yantiv, and the mitzvah of hakel. The mitzvah of hakel said after Shemitah year that they're mechuyev to go to the Beis Hamikdash when the king reads from Mishnah Torah. That would be a woman, and this is obviously contingent upon time. Matzah is contingent upon time. Women are chayev. We said we had the hekesh between eating matzah and chametz in the same pasuk, not because afim hayavos hanes, right? And simcha we disregarded. We said because simcha is dependent upon the it's no mitzvah to habi b'simcha. It's mitzvah for men to be misameach, either her husband or if she's an amanas, the person she's living by. So therefore, we said you don't learn from klaus, so we have to do. Myra, where do you know that women are mechuyev in mitzvahs essay? You learn it from Kivud of Ein, Yiras of Ein. Ish imay vaviv tira'u is a lashon rabim. Tira'u, both a man and a woman, an ish v'isha mechuyev in Yira of. The Gemara said, I'll show you mitzvahs essay that women are pater in. They're pater from Talmud Torah, they're pater from Pidyon Aben, they're pater from Pir V'Rivya. We said they're pater from Pir V'Rivya. We had that Gemara in Yevamis. So the Gemara, okay, said Ein le made him in a klaus. The Gemara then did the following. I'm going to put this out here just to make things easier, guys. I'm going to give you the Gemara beforehand, because without this, it's a bit of a cheshbon. It's a little simple chart that I put together. Not even a chart; it's a statement. Tefillin is mitzvah azman grama. So the Gemara wants to know, why do you learn for tefillin to say yach pater? Why do you learn from matzah or hakel to be chayev? Just like women, this is a mitzvah azman grama, and women are chayev. Let's learn out to all mitzvahs sheshman grama. Why do you opt and say tefillin and say they're pater? Learn from matzah and hakel, they should be chayev. That's the Gemara's kasha. The Gemara said the following, that shnei kesub maboin kechad me'ein melamdin. These two are coming to teach me the same thing, that women are chayev in matzah, women are chayev in hakel. And if the Torah, since I could have learned that one from the other, and I didn't, I mentioned both. Memela what? Shnei kesub me'echad ein melamdin. Moira. Year Savain, women are chayev. Let's learn out from Talmud Torah and Pidyon Aben that women are pater. The mitzvah essay shesman grama. The mitzvah shelo esman grama. Why do you opt for this? So then Gemara is going to tell us that this is also shnei kusabayin ke'echad. So here's the Gemara's kasha in a nutshell, guys. Here's the Gemara's kasha in a nutshell. This is really it. It's a lot of words, but here's the Gemara's kasha in a nutshell. According to the Mandi Amar, that that's great. We don't have matzah and hakel. We only have tefillin. Women pot mitzvah my grandma. Women potter.
Where can I ask where we are?
We're in the hakdama to the shir of that I didn't begin yet.
Okay.
How's that for a curd answer for a jet fan?
Thank you.
Okay.
So just, which
so
staff?
Let's not hear from you. Okay, just be quiet. Now the Myra, Talmud Torah, and Pidyon Aben, right? So in this case, what? Shnei Ksuvim Boin Ke'echad. Now, if you hold Milamdim, now you have a kasha. If you hold, even though you have two, you Milamdim, so why say Tefillin and Pater from Mitzvah Eshe Shazman Grama? Learn out from Matzah V'Hakel that you be chayev. If I say Mitzvah Myra, learn out from Talmud Torah, Pidyon Aben that you're Pater. So that's the Gemara's kasha. Why we learn from here and not according to Mandi Amar, like the Mandi Amar, we don't learn to the rest of the Torah. That's great. So I can't learn from either one. But like the Mandi Amar, Malamdin Ma'ikal Meimar. So the Gemara is going to bring a pasuk, and for Talmud Torah, we're going to make a hekesh between Talmud Torah and Tefillin. And once you make the hekesh between Talmud Torah and Tefillin, right? And once we make that hekesh, then everything's going to be okay. Okay, so that's the gist of the Gemara. So it's a very wordy, but again, never lose sight of what we're trying to do. We're saying like the Mandi Amar that says Malam de Ma'ikal Meimar. So we're beginning on Lamed Dalid Amid Beis, Lamed Dalid Amid Beis. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 lines from the bottom. The Su Mitzvahs Essay Shaloyas Mangrama Nashim Chayavas Minalon. The Yalaf Mi Moira. We learn it now from Ish Imay Vav Tiro. Ma Moira Nashim Chayavos. Just like Moira, women are chayiv. Af Kol Mitzvahs Essay Shaloyas Mangrama Nashim Chayavos. Okay, so now I know Mitzvahs Essay Asman Grama from Tefillin. I know Mitzvahs Essay, a regular Mitzvahs Essay from Moira. Just like a woman's chayiv in Yerusav Aim, so to every single other essay chayiv. Fred the Gemara v'neilef mit Talmud Torah that she should be pata. Says Gemara we should have a Talmud Torah pir v'rivya shnei kusuma ban ke'echad. Talmud Torah and pir v'rivya are two things that. So a woman is pata from Talmud Torah, she's pata from pir v'rivya, and therefore we can't learn out from Talmud Torah to pata. We can't learn from Talmud Torah to pata, right? V'chol shnei kusuma ban ke'echad malamdim. Amin Aleph. Now, fellas, why did I pick Pidyon Aben? Because we're going to have a man the Omer now who holds pir v'rivya women are chayavim. So you only have Moira, you only have one thing. Rabbi Yochanan and Broika the Amar, Al Shneim hu Omer, both Adam and Chava, by Yivarach Oisam Elokim, Hashem bless them, Peru Uruvu, Ma'ikal Meimar. Why do you learn out from Moira? Let's learn out from Talmud Torah to say your pater. Because you don't have Shnei Kesuvim, guys. You only have Talmud Torah. Says the Gemara Mishum Dahavi Talmud Torah Pidyon Aben Shnei Kesuvim Abayin Ke'echad. Because Talmud Torah and Pidyon Aben are two Kesuvim Abayin Ke'echad. The Chol Shnei Kesuvim Abayin Ke'echad Ein Malamdim, and two Kesuvim Abayin you don't learn out from each other. Or Rabbi Yochanan and Broiken Nami Nehi Navi Pir V'Rivu Umayrish Shnei Kesuvim Abayin Ke'echad Ein Malamdim. Right. And according to Rabbi Yochanan and Broika, let's see Pir V'Rivya and Moira are two Kesuvim Abayin Ke'echad. And therefore you won't have a source for woman being mechayiv and all mitzvahs. Again, right now we're saying the source is Moira. If you have Moira and you put in Pir V'Rivya, so and that's Shnei Kesuvim teaching me the same thing. That woman mechayiv and mitzvahs essay, woman mechayiv and mitzvahs essay, and therefore I can't learn out from Moira because I am going to attach Pir V'Rivya to that and say now Shnei Kesuvim you can't learn out. Says more tzricha. No, they're not shnei kesuvim. You have to write both. Again, the rule of thumb is, fellas, if I can learn out one from the other, the fact that the Torah is writing it is to teach me, to stop me from learning it out to the Kol Torah Kula. But if I can't learn out one from the other, then obviously it's not shnei kesuvim because I need both. So the Gemara is going to make now shnei kesuvim by pir v'rivya. Tzricha. Because if you just write the yeris of aim for like cause of pir v'rivya and say that women are chayiv, they're the chayiv all over. And I say peer review also chayiv. Havamina v'kiv shua. I would think like it says, and they should conquer it. Rachmana ish to darker lechbosh and isha in isha dein darker lechbosh loy. In fact, we hold like this, guys. In other words, there's a strong svara to say that women should be part of peer review. So I can't learn peer review from Moira. How can I learn peer review Moira? What are you going to say? Just like Moira of aim is the mitzvah say. And woman achayev, so to peer review woman achayev. I have a very strong svara to say woman should be pata. It says v'kiv shua, peru uravu umilu esaretz v'kiv shua. Who is bechal kiv shua? Who captures the land? Men. So therefore, I can't learn out peer review from Moira. So what are you going to say? Because Rachmana peer review, because of Moira, havamina ish the sipik biyadilasais. A man throughout his life will always have jurisdiction over himself to mechayiv yerusav aim. Isha the ain't sipik biyad last size lie. Right. In other words, a woman as soon as she gets married, then her husband comes first. The kivin the ain't sipik biyad last size. like this chayiv klal, I would say she's not chayiv in year at all. So tzricha, you need to tell me she's chayiv. So now we're set up, guys. Now we're set up. Okay, we're set up totally. You had a kasha like Rabbi Yochanan Broika. So here's the final statement. I know mitzvah says she has man grama. There's pata from tefillin. Fred the Gemara matzah v'hakel the chayiv. Let's learn out from there. Says the Gemara shnei kusuma ban kechnim lamdim. Moira, I learned that Moira to teach me a regular what? A regular mitzvah, a regular asay that's not contingent upon time. That woman are chayiv, just like right. I Talmud Torah pidyon ben de pata. The period of review we threw in, okay, we went ahead and we rejected that. Why? Because it's not Shnei Kusuma Ban Ke'echad. So this is set up according to the Kuli Alma, the Tanakama, and the Tanakama, they're chayiv in period of review. So therefore, this is even according to who? According to Rabbi Yochanan and Breika. So that's the setup. Now, how according to Malamdin? So now, in other words, we're picking it up. Interestingly enough, we're picking it up. It's a kasha that we developed from the Amid Beis. Guys, look at the Amid Beis that we just did. Good? Now, the Gemara's Amid Beis said, Matzah and Hakel, right? So we pick it up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines from the bottom. That you do learn out Shnei Kesuvim. Why did we learn out from Matzah and Hakel to tell me you're chayiv? And now the su, now we're going to the next sug mitzvah. That's the mitzvah of Moira and doing the exact same thing, guys. So this over here was yesterday's daf, guys. Well, 2 days of those erev yontiv's daf. Fill-in is a mitzvah shazman grama. Learn out from matzah v'hakel. Says the Gemara. It's in Kesub. Says now the Gemara asked over there. Loiteman the Omar that milamdin ma'ik lemeimar. And now the Gemara said the su, and in addition, guys, you're learning out Moira, you're learning out all mitzvah's essay, like the mandiyama that milamdin, let's learn out from Talmud Torah, pidyon ben, that woman should be pata for mitzvah's essay. So now that's the setup. In other words, everything we just did is that little chart, just to go ahead and set it up. There were pitches along the way, but that's the setup. Now the Gemara is going to give an answer. What's the answer? Says the Gemara the following. Amarava, Papunoi Yodoloi L'Taima the Hamilsa. Papunoi is Rav Acha Bayakov, of the slayer of the shade with 7 heads fame that we just had a few blot ago. Remember, that was the one Abaya said, don't invite, let him sleep in shul and deal with that shade. This is Rav Acha Bayakov. And what did Rav Yaakov say? Umanu Rav Acha Bayakov, Omakra, this is what the pasuk says, guys. V'hoy l'chola ois al yodecha, u'l'sikorein beinei necha, l'mantiyeh Torah Hashem beficha. So now, what does it say in the pasuk? Ois al yadcha l'sikorein beinei necha is tefillin, and then it says, in order that Torah Hashem should be in your mouth. So we have a hekesh now between tefillin and Talmud Torah. Hukish kol Torah kula l'tefillin. We make a hekesh to kol Torah kula to tefillin. Ma tefillin mitzvah seshes man groma v'nashim b'turais. Af kol mitzvah seshes man groma nashim b'turais. Now, there's one more kasha, guys. How do you know about Moira Avim? So now, guys, look, what do we do? Young men. We just got rid of this. What did we do? This was a memetzinu. We learned how to binyan av, just like tefillin is pata, is mitzvah mama, so to all. We're now learning out from a hekesh, guys. Ein meishivin ala hekesh. You don't ask questions on a hekesh. We took care of this. Good. So in other words, like the man the Omar that you would learn out from matzah v'hakel to tell me yechayev. You know why you pata? Because you have a hekesh between tefillin and Talmud Torah. And once you have a hekesh, there's no question on the hekesh. And the mele tefillin is the source for mitzvah essay shemang gromas pata. What's your question to me? What about this? So how do you know every guys? How do you know every mitzvah essay sheloy hazman groma? So that to me was a dava pashit, and I'm surprised that people didn't ask it. Fellas, when you need a limud to teach me that mitzvah essay sheloy hazman groma is patar, it must be every place else that it's not as man groma must be a chayev. guys, in other words, if all over your putter, why would you need a limud to teach me that you putter? It must be all over your chayiv. Every mitzvah says I'm chayiv. However, there's an exception. If it's Zeman Grama, I'm putter. So I have a hekesh to create Zeman Grama. And then I have an inference, a very powerful inference to tell me I'm chayiv on a regular mitzvah say. Right? So that's what the Gemara does right now. Says the Gemara, Hukish kol Torah kula tefillin, mat tefillin mitzvah Zeman Grama v'nashim turas, av kol mitzvah Zeman Grama v'nashim turas. Now, umid the mitzvah essay Zeman Grama nashim turas, when women are pater from all mitzvahs essay Zman Grama, mechlal we can infer the mitzvahs essay sheloya Zman Grama, a mitzvahs essay that's not contingent upon time. Nashim chayavos. Nashim what would be chayav? They would be chayav. Good. Okay, so let's chazor what we just did. Initially, our source was a memetzinu. You find tefillin as the mitzvah Zman Grama, woman apata from tefillin, the apata from anything similar to tefillin, which is every mitzvah Zman Grama. The Gemara has the kasha, it's not true. Matzah and hakel. Let's learn out from matzah and hakel to mechayiv, right? Says the Gemara, it's shnei ksum ben ke'echad. So, and what about the man yomer that shnei ksum ben ke'echad lamdin? We'll answer that in the question in a second. Where do you know regular moira came from? Where do you know regular mitzvahs asay? You learn from ish imoy vayiv tiro. That's a regular asay, woman achayiv. Tiro is a lashon rabim. Says the Gemara, what about Talmud Torah opinion aben? That's the mitzvahs asay woman's pata. Let's learn out from there. You should be pata. Says the Gemara, well, according to the man, meaning I need another limud because I would learn out from mitzvahs essay. I would learn out from matzah and hakel to say yechayev. I would learn out from Pidyon Aben and Talmud Torah to say Yapata. So you know what we did? We did away with that sheet. That sheet that I just gave you is gone. Why? We had a whole new limud. What's the limud? A hekesh. We make a hekesh. We make a comparison. What's the comparison? In the pasuk, it compares tefillin to Torah. We know women are part from Torah. We know they're part from tefillin. Now that I've established that they're part from tefillin, then I can establish that mitzvah Zman Grama. That's it. It's not a binyan av anymore. It's not a memetzin. It's gone. What about regular mitzvahs say? That's great. Regular mitzvahs say we'll make an inference. If I need a limud to tell me that they're potter, it must be before the limud they were chayiv. Because all mitzvahs say stam is chayiv. I needed a limud to take shazman grama out of that cloud. That's where we learn it from. Okay, I think it's okay. Of course, I think it's okay because I understand it. You good? The silence is deafening. Okay. Anyway, guys, so again, you have a source. Says the Gemara the following now. Now, guys, what happens? What happens if I hold the mitzvah shazman grama? Okay, this is really interesting. What happens if you hold that tefillin is not a mitzvah shazman grama? Let's say you hold tefillin is not a mitzvah shazman grama, right? Let's say you hold that way, right? What do? Says the Gemara. Says the Gemara. Man shamitle the amar tefillin mitzvah shezman grama. Who's the one that says that tefillin is not a mitzvah shezman grama? It's Reb Meir. It's Reb Meir. The savala shnei ksumim b'an ke'echad. And he also holds the two ksumim. The chok shnei ksumim b'achad ein melamdin. And two ksumim that come to teach you the same thing, you don't learn from. Okay, so look at Rashi, guys. Man Shamlei Haisvara, Reb Meir, Mamish parallel 2 lines up. Erevin. And Erevin, Reb Meir tells you that tefillin is a mitzvah essay, is not Shaloi Zman Grama. He doesn't need the hekesh. He doesn't need the hekesh to tefillin to what? To Torah. Elikid Garmina and Bereisha Mibinyan. He learns it out like we learned that from Binyan in the beginning. In other words, he learned the chart, guys. He learned this. He learned to chart. But instead of tefillin, guys, put in re'iyah. Guys, instead of tefillin, put in the mitzvah of being oila l'regel. So now, just like being oila l'regel is a mitzvah sheshaman grama, and woman are potter, so too all mitzvah sheshaman grama, woman are potter. What are you going to ask, fellas? I matzah v'hakel are mitzvah say that achayev. Let's learn that from matzah v'hakel. Reb Meir holds, fellas, shnei kusuma moke echad ein melamdin. So he has a source, fellas. Lo Reb Meir in this chart where I put tefillin, you would put the cross out tefillin because he also tefillin is the mitzvah shelo yazman grama, and put in the word re'iyah. So just like re'iyah is a mitzvah hazman grama and woman apater, so too all mitzvah hazman grama and woman apater. Aye, what about matzah v'hakel? Ein melamdin. Good. Now, there's one more man da'ama, fellas, who holds the following. He holds tefillin is a mitzvah essay shelo hazman grama, and he holds that he holds melamdin. So according to him, how do you know mitzvah hazman grama? In other words, you can't go ahead and tell me if I put in re'iyah over here, you still have matzah v'hakel going ahead and knocking that out. Because again, like him, you would learn matzah v'hakel, you would learn melamdin. So that's what the Gemara is going to do right now. We're going to go through that shit. I knew this would be hard. I knew it. I knew it would be hard. I mean, I'm going as best I can. Says the Gemara now the following. So again, one more time. So where's your source for mitzvah shazman grama? So it's going man shamalei the amar tefillin mitzvah shazman grama. Remeya the savala shnei ksuma ban kechad v'chol shnei ksuma bechad melamdin ein melamdin. So I won't learn out from hakel and matzah to mechayev me. I will learn out from re'iyah to patani. I can't learn from tefillin because tefillin, according to him, is the mitzvah shelo hazman grama. So I will learn out from re'iyah. Well, Rabbi Huda, the Amar, Shnei Ksuma B'Echad Milamdin, he says you would learn out. Utfilin mitzvah shelo hazman grama, right? So where do you know that women are pata from mitzvah hazman grama? Guys, you don't have a source according to him. Watch the source. Put in the word re'iyah over here. Good. If you put in the word re'iyah, you still have matzah v'hakel knocking it out because he holds tefillin's out. Tefillin is mitzvah shelo hazman grama. Re'iyah is mitzvah shezman grama. You have matzah v'hakel, good. You have matzah v'hakel, and he learns matzah v'hakel. So where does he know mitzvah shezman grama from? It says Gemara mishum dal matzah v'simcha v'hakel shleish ksuma bain keechad u'shleish ksuma b'chei melamdin. In other words, initially, guys, we said there's three mitzvahs. We said matzah v'hakel and simcha. The Gemara did away with simcha. We said because it's not in her power to do it. It's her husband's mitzvah. He holds according to Rashi, Rabbi Huda would hold that no, the mitzvah is on her to do it, and therefore it would be shleisha ksum keechad, the shleisha ksuvim habayin keechad ain't melamdin. So yotzim idvarenu from this whole share so far as we know there's such a thing as mitzvah shezman grama. The question is, where's the source? The question is, where's the source? L'maskana, the source. If you hold that tefillin is the mitzvah shezman grama. The source is loitem an diyama ein melamdim. It's from a memetzinu from tefillin, like on the chart. Loitem an diyama melamdim that you would learn. Then it's a hekesh to Talmud Torah, like the pasuk. Loitem an diyama that tefillin is not a mitzvah shezman grama. Then you learn from re'iyah. What about hakel and matzah? Ein melamdim. Like Rabbi Yehuda from re'iyah and matzah v'hakel, you will be melamdim ma'ikla neimar. You put in simcha there and shleisha ein melamdim. So that's the maskana of the Gemara. If you follow that, I'm very proud of you. Okay. Now we said women mechlev in all mitzvahs leisasei. You know any mili? How do you know? I'm Rabbi Yehuda. We're going to bring three mekaymis. The first one is the ikam makayim. The latter two are brought in agav. I'm Rabbi Yehuda Marav. V'chein tanu devei Yishmael. Amakra. It says ish or isha. Let me make sure I'm reading the pasuk correctly. It says ish or isha, a man or a woman. If they do any chatosa adam, now if you're bringing a chatas, fellas, that means you were over on a lav that has chorus. So now this is an asham also. So this is also a lav. So mameli, you see women are what? When she's bringing a carbon, what we call in the art school the sin offering. If she's bringing a sin offering, obviously she did a sin. Or an asham, a guilt offering, she did a guilt. So either way, you see that what she's chayiv, right? The Bay Rebbe Elazar Tana. Now Rashi brings in, this is not the explanation of our Mishnah. It's since you brought in the ancient, you're bringing other places where women are included, fellas. Okay, we want, again, this is not. It's not giving three sources for our Mishnah. You got the source for the Mishnah. The law for punishment is Tanabei Bishmal from Chatos. Now we're going to bring in other places in halacha where women are equal to men. The Be'er Shmuel Tana Amakra. It says by Mishpatim. It says Vela Mishpatim Asher Tasim Lefneihem. These are the Mishpatim, the laws of Dinei Mominis that you should place in front of them. Who's them? Hishra Kasav Ishal Ish the Chol Dinim Shebetayra. All the Dinei Mominis, all monetary matters. The Bechizkiya Tana Amakra. The pasuk says regarding a mu'id, a sharmu'id that kills a man, and you have to pay kofer. The hemis isha hishri, right? The pasuk says the shar nagachu miltmoy shilshon. If the shar gored 3 times, for who would be balav and he's warned. The loyish merenu you know watching. The hemis isha. Then ashar yisakol v'gam balav yumas. He has to pay kofer. He doesn't die. He pays kofer, but it doesn't make a difference whether the shar killed a man or killed a woman. He's still going to go ahead and Michael. So you have 3 places where it says that women are equal. 1 L'inyan Lavim, L'a'inshin, 2 L'inyan Mammon, 3 L'inyan Kaifer. Okay. V'tzricha. Diashmina have Kamaisa, the case of Bat, by Chatos and Asham, Mishum Kapara. Chos Rachman Allah. We want to get a Kapara. Aval Dinim, Eme Ish, Debar Masu Matin in Ishaloi. I would say in business, maybe what? When it comes to monetary matters, only men are not women, because they're in those days, women were not businesswomen. If you tell me the case of Mamanis, it's because we want to give her a livelihood. I will kaifer, but the last case kaifer, I'd say Ema not. Ish debar mitzvah in Isha the Ishaloi, a woman that is the bar mitzvah in, right? This is al kaifer. Say a woman that's the bar mitzvah person who's in the ballpark, which is not. Women are in the ballpark of mitzvahs, but not as much as men. Taisus brings. You'll see the top places on your own time. And if you tell me the last one by kaifa, someone's dying, therefore it's equal. The first 2 was no loss of life by the chatas by mom and aim. You need to tell me all 3 places. Bottom line is our Mishnah says the sources Isha Yasem Chatas Adam. This is brought throughout Shas, guys. This is brought. If you take a look at the side. Psachim, Sukkah, Yevamis, Babakama, Tamura, Nida, it's brought throughout Shas, this source, what, for women to be Mechayiv in all mitzvahs, Olavim. We said there's three Averis, 3, Leisa says a woman not in the ballpark of Bal Takif, Bal Tashchis, and Tamal Mason, Mishik Kohenes, she could be Mitamal Mason. Those are the 3 places that what the women are off the hook. Now, Bal Takif is cutting your payas, rounding off your head. And Bal Tashkas is cutting your beard with a razor. And Tamal Mason is obvious. Now, Bishleim about Tamal Mason, very good about Tamal Mason. Just 1 second. Now, here's Parshas Emor. Vayom Hashem Moshe Emor Kahanim b'nei Aaron v'mata aleim l'nefesh lo yitama ba'amav. They should not be mitame. They should be mitama l'meis. Ki yemashera korvei love to their relative that's closest to them. L'imo l'aviv l'vno l'bito l'achiv l'achosah b'sula hakrovei love asher lo yichoisa l'ish lo yitama. Tahashi can be tummy. Now, lo yitama ba'amav le'chaloi. Then the next, after you finish the tumah, it says lo yikrachu karcha b'roysham. They should make a bald spot on their heads. Upas sikonam lo yigalechu. Nor should they go ahead and round off their payas. And they shouldn't go ahead and gash in their skin. That's what it says in the parsha of. That's one parsha. This is the parsha has to do with kahanim. There's another parsha in Parshas Kidushin. That pasuk says it's Perik Yutes pasuk Chazayin. Like sakifu pas roishchem. Don't round off your head. Like sashkas es pas konecha. You should and do not go ahead and cut and destroy es pas konecha. The serer lenefesh like sit in the and do not go ahead and make yeshes in yourself. So we have a parsha of pas roishchem by Kahanim, and we have another one by Klal Yisrael. Okay, so we're going to play with that a little bit. Says the Gemara, Bishlem about the Tamil Mason. Very good. Again, going back to us, sugya, there's three laughing that a woman is not chayivin. Leisakif leisashkas and about the Tamil Mason. Yichsev emal kahanim bnei Aaron v'lei Sarin. Only bnei Aaron and not bnei Sarin. Elabal takiv ubal tashkas minolon. How do you know about takiv ubal tashkas? Where do you know that the woman is potter? Yichsev, like it says in Parshas. This is the Parshas that we in Kidushin. Leisakifu pas roishchem. Leisashkas pas konecha. And do not go ahead and cut off pas konecha. Now, kol sheyeshna b'hashchasa. Anyone is in the ballpark of cutting off their beard, the latter part of the pasuk. Yeshne b'hakafa is in the first part of the pasuk. Bahani noshe, and these women hayavlei isnu b'hashchasa, since they're not in the ballpark of cutting off their beards, lesnu b'hakafa, they're not in the ballpark of hakafa. So that pasuk in Parshas Kidushin is the source, right? It says, we make a hekesh. Whoever is in the ballpark of hashchasa, of their beard, is in the ballpark of rounding off the head. Women are not in the ballpark of hashchasa. Well, the Gemara is going to guess why. So they're not pasrosh. Says the Gemara. When we know that how do you know women are not in the ballpark? So Iba is saying what every one of you are thinking. Well, this is svara. The whole the isnu zaken. They don't have beards, right? They don't have beards. They don't have beards. Since they don't have beards, Mela, they don't have beards. They're not in the ballpark of hashchasa, so Mela is not in the ballpark. You'll tell me if a woman does have a beard, that's not the norm, and we go after the norm, right? In other words, that would not be considered a zaken, guys. Guys, you hear this lumdus. Let's say a woman does have a beard, she would be able to cut that beard off with a razor. If a woman did have a beard, she'd be able to cut it off with a razor, because that's not a halachic beard. Now, Biba is saying, Makra, the Makra, like Sakifu pas roishchem, like Sashkas is pas zikonecha. Now, roishchem is a lashon of Rabbim. Chem is Rabbim. Zikonecha is lashon Yachid. With the Shani Kra b'dibura, when the Torah goes out of its way to change from a lashon Rabbim to a lashon Yachid, Nim came, if the woman were chayiv, nichte rachmana pas kanchem. Just like it says just like it says roishchem, it should say zikanchem. When it says over here, when it says my zikanecha v'leizakin ishtecha. So in other words, that's how I know the woman's out of the ballpark. So right now we have a pasuk that says that like sakifu pas roishchem le'sashkas pas zikanecha. We know a woman's not in the ballpark of hashchasa, so she's not in the ballpark of hashchasa. She's not in the ballpark of the sakifu pas roishchem. That's what the Gemara is stating right now. She's not in the ballpark over there. Okay. The woman is not in the ballpark of hashchasa, but nan zakein sakan isha ve'siris shehelu sara harihin zakein. A woman's beard or a saris, a eunuch, and they grow here. Harihin kizakein l'chol devrayim. It has a din of a beard l'chol devrayim. My lav lahashchasa. So we're questioning that. You went ahead and said women are not in the ballpark of hashchasa, and therefore they're not in the ballpark of sakifu. We have a brisa, we have a Talmudic source that tells me that women ostensibly are in the ballpark, because it says the zakan, the beard of a woman or a saris is a beard. What does it mean? It must be it's a beard and cutting it off. So I'm Rabbi, no. You can't learn out that a woman is in the ballpark of hashchasa. Why would you tell me why not? Because you learn it the hekesh to pas roishchem, but it's not true because you don't have that source anymore. The yol of pas mibnei Aaron. Again, there's two. It says v'sashik says pas konecha, and it says upas koncha lo yigalechu. So it says by the kahana upas zikonam lo yigalechu. It says over here leisishul pas konecha. So Mamela, just like Kahanim, in the book, not cutting off the beard, so to women, so to just like Mala Hala Nashim Turas Avkan Nashim Turas. So guys, look at me. We had a very funny Gemara. Listen what the Gemara just did. We had an independent pasuk, regardless of Kahanim, telling me a woman that is not mechuyev in cutting around the go for Tapeyas. Why? Because it's in the same pasuk it says you shouldn't cut off your beard. How do you know? And women are not in the ballpark of beard, so they're not in the ballpark of payas. How do you know women are not ballpark of beard? The Gemara wants to suggest now it's not in the ballpark of beard because it's they changed the lashon from Rosh to Konecha. So it's the Konecha, your beard, you the man's beard, and not a woman's beard. Good. So therefore, woman's not in the ballpark. Fred the Gemara. Now we bring a brisa. Brisa says zoking. Zoking means what? That a woman's in the ballpark of a beard. That's what it says. It must mean the woman's in the ballpark of beard of ashchasa, correct? So what does the Gemara do now? It doesn't go back to the source above Sikonecha. It brings in a different source. It brings in a whole different source. It brings in a source from what? From Kahanim. Kahanim, women are out of the ballpark. Why? Because it says Bnei Aaron, Bnei Aaron. In the parsha, guys, in the parsha of Chaf Aleph, again, I should have put it up. In the parsha of Chaf Aleph, in the beginning of Emor, it says the parsha of Tumah, and then it says La Yikrachu Korcha Beroisham Upasikonim La Yigalechu. So when it says we know women, if that Emor El Aroin Bnei Aroin, so if that Bnei Aroin is going on A Tumah and B Hashchasa, then I'm good. So right now we're saying it is going on Hashchasa. So the Gemara is saying now, you know what? You can't possibly say that a woman would be chayef for zakan. Either Bryce says you are. We'll see in a minute what that means. Okay, now the question at hand is, why did we deviate from zikanecha? We had a limud and we had pas. So Tosfos speaks out. The zikanecha was a limud until you had a kasha from the Brisa. Once you had a kasha from a Brisa, then we had to find a better source. So we found a better source, the Gzeir Shava, to Kahanim. Again, Kahanim, Bnei Aroin, Loi Bnei Aaron, Tumah, first parsha, second parsha, Korcha, Pas. It's going on the second parsha as well. Now, and it says Pas here, it says Pas by Yisrael, and I'll learn out that what. So now we're good. Right now, we're good. Says the Gemara following. The Sfirulon, the Chikasa Bnei Aaron, Akula in Yana, Ksiv. Now, if you're telling me that when it says Bnei Aaron, it's going on the whole parsha, the whole kit and caboodle, Nishtak Kromine, let the Torah not say anything, pas, V'teisi b'kal v'chaymer. Okay, tomorrow morning, the shir next should be tomorrow morning because I have Yahrzeit Suda tomorrow night.
I think you didn't have the recording on for the last part of the shir because it just said recording in progress now.
Oh, no. That's not good. Oh, that's not good. It's recording now. I didn't have it on.
Good, thank you.
Okay, so we said that if it's a continuity, we said from the screen over here. If you look over here, it says over here, Emerald Kahana b'nei Aaron v'marta leim l'nefesh lo yitama of kiyum l'sher karvei love l'avali imoy lo yitama, and then the end over here it says lo yikru charcha. So if you're going to tell me that what lo hefsek inyan, I don't need pas. Why? Because it says over here b'nei Aaron v'lo b'nei Aaron. It's going on this as well. It says the Gemara. What about hefsek inyan? Then I learn now pas gzeir shava. Says the Gemara if gzeir shava, right? Then we said if you're going to learn how to if hefsek inyan. Gzeir shava. What are you gzeir shava for? Oh, 1 second. Very good. I need gzeir shava for something else. I need it for what? For that the halacha that to teach me that the tar of the rush. Let's see it inside. Ilag gzeir shava avamina hefsek inyan hashnami name hefsek inyan. Imishum gzeir shava mi boilel chedetanya. Lo yigilcho yachol gilcho b'misparayim. I might think you go ahead and use a scissor yechayiv kamalema like sashkas. Yachal likta b'melaki b'hitni, which is kind of a tweezer or a plane. Yechayiv tamalema lo yigalechu. Okay, Tzad, how do you figure this out? It's giluach sheyesh b'ashchasa aviyam ezetar. So in other words, right now, at this point in time, you would not know. At this point in time, you would not know a woman is hashchasa whatsoever. You wouldn't have a source for it. Where would you know? You wouldn't have a source for it. Where would you know it from? So the Gemara says, I'll tell you where. In Cain, if all the Gzeir Shav was coming to teach me was this din of hashchasa with a razor, nichlev kra esh shebek zakancha, just like shebek zakancha. My pasuk kancha shmaminatati. You hear two things. Why a woman is dafka min and not a woman, and also dafka reza. My halacha, do you go ahead and say that a woman's beard is a beard if it's not like nashchasa? It's regarding tumas negayim. In a person's arm, there will be a white hair, in the hair there will be a golden hair. So the inyan that it's considered zakan would be considered a hair. The inyan tuma. Fred the Gemara tumas negayim behedik siva. So the first pasuk the tumas negayim the isha kiyeh by nega beroish bezakan. So the chayr that what you don't need a brayse to tell me that. The brayse is telling me tires negayim that what that a woman gets out the same way a man gets out by bringing two birds chutz l'machne with a high sap and having the blood sprinkled upon her. I need a brayse to tell me that pshita, not pshita. Keeping the bas tumihi, bas tahirihi. If she's in, she has to be able to get out. So it's I still need to tell me that what. So now it's really an ella. We're going back to tumas negoyim. You had a kasha tumas negoyim. It says what the isha kiyeh by nega baroish bezakan. It's in the pasuk. I will learn the pasuk the following way. Sakadat mean let's start and ksiv. Isha kiyeh by nega baroish bezakan. The nega baroish bezakan. So bezakan is speaking about a man, not a woman. Hada asal ish. Kamash malon that the brayso that's going on the woman as well. Have a great evening. All the best.